Welcome to Act 2, You're On. Join us weekly at our studio roundtable as Rhonda, Kate,
and Linda invite spectacular guests to weigh in on staying sexy, vibrant, and healthy.
Launch your next great act with authenticity and purpose.
Summon your courage, superstar, and step into the limelight. So grab a coffee
or a martini,
and let's set the stage for a grand entrance. It's Act 2.
You're on.
Greetings, friends, and welcome to A2YO, Act 2, You're On, a community of change makers igniting personal and societal renaissance through inspirational conversation and purpose-driven topics. I'm Kate Levy, and I have the great pleasure of podcasting with two remarkable change makers, my A2YO co-hosts.
Hi there, I'm Rhonda Garvin-Conaway.
And I'm Linda Ty, and we're also joined by our very talented producers, Susan Analytics Nagel and Kathy, I'm all about the numbers, Carswell.
Today is a rare and wonderful day in the A2YO studio because today we are interviewing a true friend of the studio, Ellie Calhoun, who we all know and love and hold in such high esteem. Ellie's a gifted healer, thinker, a person with a great sense of mission as an educator, dedicated to reinvention and a commitment to constant growth as a practitioner and a person. And for me personally, as an aging athlete, Ellie and her techniques have helped me tremendously. And more on that later. Remind me to tell you the story about the zebra. And in the meantime, let me give you the official bio of our wonderful guest. Ellie Calhoun hails from Natick, Massachusetts, and is a licensed massage therapist, advanced roster practitioner and instructor, a core movement integration practitioner, and neurokinetic therapy practitioner who thrives on continual study of anatomy, movement, and breathing, which manifests in her cutting-edge technique. Ellie is dedicated to educating people about their bodies and the best core movement and breathing practices so they are empowered to move more every day and move better to reduce pain. And I have experienced that 100%. Ellie is a former college athlete and an avid photographer. This Renaissance woman is a gifted healer of both the body and the mind, and one of the most delightful people and we know. And we'll tell you a little bit more about her later, but you can find her on mybodyworksnatick.com. We'll mention that again at the end.
I just love Ellie. That. My Body Works.
Yes.
Love it.
Love it. Love her. Welcome, Ellie.
Thank you. This is exciting to be here.
Well, we're thrilled that you're here.
Yeah, I really appreciate the opportunity. Thanks.
Yeah. So we can dive right in. And there are lots of massage therapists out there in the world, but not all Ellie Calhoun's out there. So I feel like I already know the answer, but I guess I'll let you give us your opinion on what makes you unique and different.
So when I work with a client, a lot of times actually when they first come in the door, I'm not really sure what I'm going to do. And as many other massage therapists do, I listen to my client's story and I listen to what they feel their needs are, because I definitely want to address that. But I also am watching, eyes on, I'm watching how they move. I'm watching when they talk about a sore shoulder, how are they moving to point it out? And a lot of massage therapists do that. Massage is wonderful. It is a really nice way to sort of reset the nervous system and help people feel better so that they can move on with their day. I've taken it a step further. And really, I'm an educator. So what I want to do is educate people and help empower them so that they know what to do when they're not getting a massage, or 2 days after when the sneaky pain starts to come back. What do? They can take care of a lot of it themselves. And that's what I want people to know. I want to work with people so that they can take it further throughout their days and throughout their life. So I teach them movement techniques that can help relieve pain. I look at when they come in the door, if critical or acute pain is an issue, I might do something completely different from massage. I might do some stretching workout things that help get rid of that pain first. So the main thing that people need to do a lot of times is reset their brain, that nervous system. So you can't really concentrate and do that if you are having acute pain. So that's why I want to take that down a notch before I move on to helping them retrain their brain so that they move better. So that's sort of how I'm different. You don't always walk in here to get a massage if you want something fixed. If you want massage, I'm happy to do massage. But if you want something to function better in your body, then we don't really know what we're going to do until you're here. It might be massage, but it might be muscle testing. It might be pain relief work. It might be movement education.
Yeah, I feel like you have so many tools. I've never met anybody who has so many tools. I'm not talking, well, some of them are physical tools, but I feel like you're a real body super sleuth. Like you do a lot with your eyes, like having your client walk, but just kind of recreating the crime and understanding what happened in the body and where there might be blocks. I really, I will gush several times throughout our time together, but I am a former aging athlete, lots of ailments. And I've come to you really broken. And what was significant for me was your healing of the whole, like taking in the whole patient. But I was on gabapentin, which is a nerve, I don't know, it's a nerve medicine. And I had tried to go off that. I had had a terrible bike accident in my 20s. And I think I'd been on gabapentin for over 10 years. I tried to get off it because it made me a little foggy. But it was really only, Ellie, through a lot of super sleuthing that we sort of figured out what was going on. And you really coached me through that. And I am off gabapentin. I've been off it for a year. And that's extraordinary. I'm in less pain now in my advanced age than I was, 20 years ago, it's been a real gift in my life, 100%.
Yeah. Can I say something about that? If you are on any kind of pain relief medication or pain blockers or anything that has been prescribed to you by a doctor, don't just go off it, though. You have to do it under the care of your physician. I don't diagnose. I don't prescribe anything but movement. And so all of that does, just so that you know, I'm not like, you have to go off your medications.
No. So
I just wanted to make sure that was.
No, and I should throw in there that was my desire to go off that. And actually the first thing you said to me is, so this is something that we should be discussing. You discuss that with your doctor. And it was that triad. It was my desire. And you're giving me new tools, and then my having the conversation with my doctor who was all for it. But that's an excellent point. Yeah.
The thing that I've learned about that is if you're being, if it's being recommended that you take a medication for something, find out why. Mm-hmm. And then after they explain why, ask again, why? Why am I taking this? Why do you want me to take this? Keep asking until you find out exactly what it is, why you're on it. Sometimes the side effects of something will then send you on that rolling hill that, you have to add something else to take care of the side effect of this thing. So the medication might be necessary. It might be, but find out why and find out all the side effects. Know what you're doing. I have people have come in sometimes and they're like, oh, they did this and this. When I ask, well, what was it? I don't know. Take control, take power of your own body and make sure that you know what's being recommended for you.
Mm-hmm. I love that. Mm-hmm. I think that's really important. And I love your approach. And I wonder if do you have people come in and think, well, you sort of get convinced that massage is the only way to go. So if they're going to come in and you say, well, I don't think we're ready to start with massage. We need to start with something else first. Like, talk to us about that. Like, what do we know about our body that, that you and have faith in, like, what's your path been to say, I don't know, what's the, trust your body. Your body knows what to do. And how does your technique, or your different therapies? I mean, it sounds like you have a many. Talk to us about that. Right. Does that make sense? Somebody comes in, they're insecure about it. They think they need a massage. And you say, you know what, I think it would benefit to start with this, to have faith in your body.
So if it's a new person, I might just do massage because it's their expectation. And actually, massage is sort of the doorway to my practice because people think they know what that is, or they do know what that is. So it's a comfort level. And if they come in here and they know they want a massage and I start doing other things, they're not going to trust me and I'm not going to be able to build that. So I might do a massage first so they feel what my work is like. And we build a relationship because that's massage is a two-person thing. Any kind of body work, it's both people involved. And so I will meet them where they are. In my head, I'm saying, well, down the road, this might be beneficial for them. And then I will slowly bring in some other techniques. So one of the things I do is the Rossiter stretching. And Rossiter stretching is a very powerful, very intense workout. So the person is lying fully clothed on the floor, and using my foot, I step on a body part safely. And then I direct them through a stretch that creates space in the body, but it's also talking to the nervous system. Everything I do, it's all about the nervous system. It's all about talking to your nervous system and making those changes, because the change has to come from within. I can't press on you or pull you and make a change. Not really. And so what I'm doing is communicating with the body, and that communicating is connecting to the nervous system. So Rossiter, being as intense as it is, unless somebody comes in the first time and says, I want Rossiter, they have looked it up. They know what they're doing. They think they know. I'll give it a try. But if they want massage and they want really deep tissue massage that's going to, damage me, I might suggest they try Rossiter. And if they're already on the table getting a massage, then I will do a modified version. I'll lean in using my hand or my arm, and then I'll direct them through the stretch. And I'll say, this is what it's like. Now feel, what does your arm feel like? And they'll go, oh, that's different. And they like it. And then I'll say, next time, maybe we can look at doing some Rossiter. So that's how I approach that.
That makes sense.
I don't know if that answered all the questions.
Absolutely.
Ellie, you keep mentioning various techniques and interventions you've done as you respond to our questions and in this conversation. We're curious about who are the people in particular who could benefit from working with you and all these different interventions you offer.
So I love all my clients. And I love just giving a massage. It's like dancing to me. So I love doing that. That being said, the person who can benefit the most from what I have to offer and all of the things that I have to offer is the person who wants to change. They are willing to take responsibility for that change and for their body. They are willing to or open to other ideas and not falling back on, well, this is what my doctor told me. This is what so-and-so said. This is what so-and-so said, without being open to a new way of thinking about it. So somebody who's curious, somebody who's willing to sort of think things through, and that taking responsibility piece is important because I often give homework, and that homework is retraining the brain. And if you don't do the homework, you go right back to that dysfunctional pattern that produced the pain to begin with.
Yeah. It's very empowering.
So a lot of my clients are sort of people like me that have been in that in between having children and having parents, and you're taking care of both of them. And you're watching your parents decline as we tend to. And I've decided I'm not going to. I'm not doing that. I'm going to do whatever I can.
Yes.
And sometimes that means not waiting for insurance to catch up to the wonderful modalities that are out there, but paying maybe, I have a mentor, and her hour cost is $250. I'm not up there, but you know what? That is so worth it because of the results she gets. She doesn't take insurance, and she doesn't, and I don't take insurance because I don't have that ability even. But if you're relying on insurance to take care of your health, they limit you, and it's limited.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And when you walk around in chronic pain, boy, it affects every aspect of your existence. And the prospect of getting out of that pain, like when you get to a point where you're not walking around with the burden of that pain, it kind of changes everything. So,
It does.
that,
And I've been
what
there.
is that worth? Yes.
Yeah, I've been there. I had a period of time where I had so much pain in my hip that I was just like, just get rid of that thing, and when you have that pain or shoulder pain, I never thought it was that debilitating, but oh my goodness, it really is. And it's because it can be relentless. And when something like that is taking 20%, 50%, any percentage of your brain capacity, because it's like this nagging thing that's on you, then you can't do what you're on this earth to do. You can't give your whole to other people or serve or produce or be, you can't do that stuff as easily. I remember being in talk about brain fog, like just can't concentrate. You can't learn. You can't, and so getting rid of that pain or being able to figure out, oh, maybe I need to lie down on the floor for 15 minutes and just let things reset. It's huge.
Yeah. Well, I love that you talk about communicating with your body. That's so important. And I don't know, is it time to ask her about some tips for our,
well, I think she's giving tips, but hold that for one more minute. I actually wanted to go back in time just for a moment because I'm so intrigued by your commitment to reinventing yourself. Our listeners are, people in the second act, or they're a transition, or they're just people who are committed to growing and learning. And you're such an educator. So I would love to hear a little bit about, I don't know, your commitment to reinvention and how you came to this work, perhaps.
Oh, that's great. Everything I have done in my life has led me up to where I am. back in high school, my sense of self-worth was tied into being an athlete, as you know, Kate, what that's like, and really being able to run fast and go all out and be there and just be this like strong. And I felt strong because physically I was strong and I could run really fast. And then there's an injury. Mm-hmm. And over the years, those injuries affect other parts of my body. And I sort of lost that feeling of value in a way, right? And I've done a lot of different careers. I was a preschool educator. I was a education supervisor at the aquarium. I was a interior landscape person. I've done a lot of different careers and a lot more jobs. When my youngest, getting into massage initially, I have to admit that at least 50% of the reason was to figure out how to fix me. Mm-hmm. And so I looked at it a long time ago, very briefly, and had another opportunity come up, so I didn't do that. And then when I did start to look at massage, I was 47. So I got my massage license when I was 48. And so talk about second act, third act, fourth act. And when I first started thinking about doing it, the question was, am I strong enough? Are my hands going to be strong enough? And when I researched it and learned that the movement comes from your core and not necessarily from your hands, I was like, okay, I'm doing this. So when my youngest went to kindergarten, I went to school for massage and very quickly learned that massage is great. It's part of the answer, but movement's even better. And getting into movement, I started studying movement and really I was just sort of driven to know more and know more about anatomy and how it's connected, and then how fascia connects from your toe to the tip of your head, and how maybe an injury in your foot can affect your shoulder, and all of these things. It's fascinating to me, and I really am sort of driven to learn all this stuff. I have always been the kind of person that I like to know a little bit about a lot of things, right? And this is the first time that I'm like, oh, massage started it. Body work is this umbrella. And now I'm digging and I'm digging and I'm digging deeper, and I'm finding all this stuff down there that is supporting what I do with people. And it comes from in here. There's this intense desire. And that brings me right back to when I was a preschool teacher. I was in the Montessori system, Montessori preschool. And I learned then that when you're good at learning something, it's because you want to. It comes from in here. And the same with children. When they're learning something, they have sensitive periods for learning particular things. And that learning comes from within. I mean, we've all had the experience of a teacher or a parent or somebody else saying, you need to know this. And that's hard to learn that if you don't think you need to know that. And it doesn't really connect to what's within. So I think that that's a key piece. And I think we all could benefit from looking within and tapping in, because we're brilliant. We really are. Our brain body connection, our brain is brilliant. And And that's all in here. Who cares what other people are looking at you and thinking you should know or judging you or whatever. Most of that's just our perception anyway. But, it's what matters in here. And that's the same with the movement that I do, which is very mindful movement. It's going in. It's feeling what's going on with that hip and moving very mindfully. So that, yeah.
Amen.
So that continued learning, I can't stop now.
Thank you.
I love that. Yes. And I love hearing about the different experiences that influence you to be in this moment right now. I think so many of us can relate to that, and many people listening will be resonating hard on that idea. With that in mind, as we reach out at this point in our show, what would you suggest are some of the golden nuggets that our listeners could take away to be successful in their next great act? You've already given us so many, but what's made the difference for you? And what is it, maybe something you wish you had known at a transition point?
That's a good question. So the piece about what I wish I had known it was going to be okay.
Yeah.
It's all going to be okay. I think at a certain point in my life, anyway, there's this, is it going to work out? Am I going to enjoy, what's next? And are my kids going to grow up and be okay? Is that going to be okay? Am I going to know enough in my new career that just know that where you are is exactly where you should be. And it is going to be okay. We all have different kinds of challenges, and I feel very lucky that I had the challenges that I've had. I don't feel that, I can walk, I can move, I can talk, I feel extremely lucky. But I think that pulling deep, everybody has it. You have it in you. That's sort of what I wish I had known, that it would be okay. And my message to people is, it's in here. It's not out there. It's in here for you.
So thank you, Ellie, for joining us today. We are grateful for your time and this conversation, for your healing art and your generous heart, and for all of your encouragement. And I have to say, just personally, what it means for me to have you here, how you've changed my life, literally, relieved of pain. And our sessions, mostly if it's a massage, it's quiet, or if I'm there for Rossiter or you're doing muscle testing, that's one part of what we do. But then when we're wrapping up, you're such an interesting person to talk to, such a sense of philosophy. And I remember this one particular time, and I carried this with me almost on a daily basis. We talked about the zebra, and the zebra came up because we were talking about how we hold stress in our body and how cortisol, you were explaining to me how cortisol works in the body. And you said, so at some point after the zebra has run away from the lion and it just recovers and it goes back. It took, fight, flight, freeze. It took the flight and it survived. And then it has to go back to eating the grass. So if I'm stressed, I'm not kidding, listeners, this is for real. I actually think of myself as a zebra, literally like chewing my cud. I don't know if zebras chew cud or chewing some grass, but I try to lower my blood pressure and invite the cortisol to leave me. And I just think there's no saber-toothed tiger, there's no lion chasing me. I can recover, because I think that one of the challenges of modern society is that we are walking around feeling, carrying around that sense of attack, the cortisol high. We're on high alert all the time. And we're not built, this machine, this magnificent machine that you were talking about, is not built to be on high alert all the time. And I have benefited from how you've kind of helped my body physically, but also you're so wise. And I feel like I always leave with a jewel like that, and that you're really extraordinary and very unique. And I know because I've been to lots of physical therapy, lots of, attempts to get out of pain. And you've taken that from me. And if I do get myself in pain, I know where to go or what to do.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I really benefited as well, Kate.
You are very kind. So Linda, do you want to tell these good people how they can find our friend Ellie, find out more about her?
Yeah. So you can learn more about Ellie at mybodyworks, plural, Natick.com. So mybodyworksnatick.com to find her on Facebook, where you can book her for appointments or to host a workshop and learn why her clients and students revere her and why we love her so much.
Amen. Yes. Special thanks to the talented and skilled production crew behind the scenes, Kathy Carswell and Susan Nagel. We couldn't do it without them.
And it is left to me to say, go forth, be brave, live well, and do good, because it's Act 2, and you're on.
Act 2 You're On was brought to you by Act 2 Share Our Stage.
You can find us at a2yo.com and also on Facebook, Instagram, and LinkedIn. Don't keep us a secret. Share us with your friends.
Please listen and subscribe wherever you find your podcasts. You can support us using Patreon. Thanks for listening.